Welcome to Daddy Recovery. Let's begin, shall we? Sometimes in life, a lesson takes a few years to learn. In fact, I have found that many of my greatest lessons needed to be hammered into me 1,000,000 times before I actually got the nail of it. Megan was one of the coolest friends I ever had. We were two big nerds in the city, and she tapped into a part of me that in truth was all of me, my inner outcast. Part of why I was always a floater or a person of multiple friendship groups was because, yes, I like to know a lot of people. I really do feel each of my friendship groups brings out a certain part of me. I have the energy of 10,000 suns, okay, Icarus? Yet there's a sadder reason. When you grow up with a father that is consistently and constantly berating you, acting like everything you do is somehow an inconvenience to not only his humanity, but also all of humanity, you feel like you can never stay too long with a person without them realizing that you're a loser, a burden. I like being able to jump from one group to another because it makes me feel like I have enough time and space to be light and entertaining and then leave before they realize I'm not any of those things and yell at me like my dad. Still, Megan wanted me to stay, and I did, and it was great. As you've seen in prior episodes, I'm trying to recuperate from my tendency of introducing everybody I know to everybody I know, because I don't have the best assessment of people. I'm still trying to accept that my intuition is spot on, which means I do not have to join everyone when they say, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, call it chicken. One of the reasons I'm trying to end that tendency is because it's the reason I lost Megan. We had gone to dinner and I had introduced her to my friends at the time. In perspective, they were not friends. That was a really big term for what they actually were, which was my company when I wanted to go clubbing. But again, I'm trying to heal my lower standards. We were drinking and laughing, and somehow the conversation led to middle names. For some reason, nobody even knew I had a middle name. And in truth, I was surrounded by big personalities, go big or go home, except I didn't know anybody's address. Suddenly, Megan said her middle name is Nicole and explained how my dad named me Nicole, but really wanted it to be my first name because he named all his sons with a J name if the mother let them, and all his daughters with an N name if the mother let them, of which my mother didn't. One of my friends at the time, Luis, did ooh, kind of making fun of her for knowing so much about me, to which I did the nervous kind of stop it giggle. Stop. I looked at Megan, and she was not only disappointed by the situation, but kind of uninterested in me after that. We had spent an entire year being the silliest of people, only for me to reveal that I wasn't really that serious. I had introduced her to people that knew nothing about me and presented her as equals to them, when in truth she was a true friend. Now she's going through, at the time I didn't understand that she was going through what I'm going through right now, which is a curation of her life and taking out all the BS, of which I was in some ways a little BS. It didn't matter that we would twerk to Dixie Chicks or that we would do random adventures like glass blowing. I was too comfortable in my invisibility, and she was somebody that not only wanted to see people, but be seen by them, or at least know their middle name. All right, let's discuss, let's heal. They say God's rejection is God's protection, and I like to think that a lot of the losers that have exited my life was God protecting me, even from myself. But with Megan, it was God protecting her. I was the loser, and that really affected me because my whole life I have always wanted sincere, loving, deep relationships. It's what I write in my music. Daddy Recovery is my recovery, or me recovering my artistry from the man that took it from me, my own dad. And I wanted somebody that celebrated me and didn't feel competitive with me, somebody that liked me and enjoyed me and took my silliness serious. Like, we always laughed. We were very easy. And it's so, I don't want Daddy Recovery to just be about the toxic relationships that have impacted me. I also wanted to be about the really cool, great relationships that I stupidly let go or didn't allow to fully impact me because I was so used to love being pain, or so taught that love had to hurt for it to be real, for it to be rich, for it to be deep. And we had a great time, and I was like, oh my God, you have to meet my friends. They're just the funnest people on earth. And in perspective, it was superficial and shallow, and we had a good time, but it wasn't a great time. And she felt off-put by Luis for kind of acting like, oh, you must really love her for knowing her middle name. And it was also like, okay, jerk, do you even know, like, your mother? Like, excuse me, fool. Long story short, she kind of grew distant after that. And it's maybe I'm making a bigger scenario out of this situation, but I could feel there was a little like, oh, these are the people you like. And I haven't realized until now that who you surround yourself with does say something about you. And I think she was like, if these are the people you like and you like me, either I'm like these people or you're not like me. And at the time, she was taking this journey of one of the reasons we connected is because I thought I was taking the same journey as her. I thought I was ready for the same journey as her, which is to find real, genuine relationships. But I was too comfortable in my invisible. And I made fun the defining factor for, like, Taylor Swift friendship bracelets. Like, hey, bestie, here, let's beat it all together. And she was kind of turned off, and it's something that I hate because my father was horrible to me, and he made me believe that I had to be the most entertaining, funnest person to be loved. So when somebody exits from my life, especially somebody that I liked, it feels like I failed in being fun enough and entertaining enough. And the thing is, she left because I wasn't serious enough. I wasn't somebody who was curating her life. I was just letting everybody in, and she didn't want that anymore. And one of the things that I talked about is that I introduce everybody I know to everybody I know, and this feeling that part of why I introduce everybody I know, part of why I know a lot of people is I don't know how to anchor. I don't know how to build roots. I feel like my longest relationships and friendships have kind of been by chance and been because I travel a lot, because I am the most present person to not be so present. And I felt like when I was really analyzing that side of me, I was seeing that, my father made me feel like I was inconvenient. And he was always verbally and psychologically plotting against me, and financially as well. And it made me feel, in having so many friends and so many friendship groups and being able to introduce people it made me feel like I had an escape route. Like I didn't have to be known so much or for so long, and in turn an inconvenience, an inevitable burden, as if to know me, eventually you're going to be disappointed with me. And the irony is that the people that I did let stay, the people that I stayed in their life for too long, they did that to me. They made me feel like this luggage they had to carry, exactly how my dad did. Yikes. So check out daddyrecovery.com for all these stories. Follow the podcast and check out Herdin on all music platforms. Let's heal. Let's discuss.